Hello again, this is Khaled Mustafa Ahmed, and I will continue the previous session about Kerberizing network file system version 4. In this session, I will show how to secure the connection between the console and the admin server to use TLS connection instead of using the unencrypted connections, as well as enabling the SASL authentication with the admin server. In a previous session, we already did that for the C89 directory server, but not for the console or the admin server. Also, and as we seen before, the C89 directory server and by default allow anonymous binding for read and search operation on the entire user data tree, which is very bad from the security point of view, and we have to change that and allow only anonymous binding to the server root DSCE entry, which is located outside the server data tree and contains non-critical information about the running server instance, like supported mechanisms, supported features, LDAP version, naming context, and so on. And this information may be needed by the OpenLDAP client software application trying to connect to our server. Anyway, it is recommended by Red Hat, and it's completely safe doing that. Also, I will show how to enable secure binding and prevent entirely any simple binding authentication to our C89 directory server. So let's go and do it. To enable the TLS secure connection between the console and the admin server, we first need to create a certificate, a signed certificate for the admin server, and import it to the admin server database. Also, the certificate authority, our self-signed certificate authority, must also be imported to the admin server database. And that means we have to follow the same procedures we did before when creating the directory server certificate. But in this case, we will end up with two certificates, one for the directory server itself and the other one for the admin server. No harms about that, but it is much more easier to manage and track only one certificate instead of two. But we can't simply import the directory server certificate to the admin server database, since the directory server and the admin server uses completely different databases with different private keys. But if you are like me and want to use the directory server certificate with the admin server, you have to export both the certificate and its private key from the directory server database and import it again to the admin server database. Of course, the certificate authority must also be imported to the admin server database. And for that, we can use the PK12 util, which is part of the NSS-tools package for exporting the directory server certificate and its private key to a PK12 file format, then import it again into the admin server database. First, we need to initialize the admin server database and create a password for it. This password will be used to unlock the admin server database. So select one that you can easily remember it, but complex enough to not to be guessed by someone else. So let's fire up the console. Manager, set 1, 2, 3. Expand the tree, and this time you have to double click the administration server tasks, manage certificates, and create the password. And re-enter it. Okay, and as you see, this database is completely empty. Close the console and now change dir to the admin server directory under etc dir serve admin. Then you can inspect the admin server database with cert util list dir this dir, and as you see, it's empty and nothing in there. Now we can change dir to the directory server instance, etc dir serve slip d media, and again inspect this the directory server database, which contains our self-signed CA and the directory server certificate. And if you want to display the private key, you can replace the L with capital K, and you have to enter the directory server database password. And here is the private key for the directory server certificate. Now we need to use the PK12 util to export everything inside the directory server database to a PK12 file format. PK12 let be under the temp dir, and let's name directory server keys dot pk12. Before that, we have to list PK12 util output file under temp directory server keys dot pk12 is the nickname for the server cert. And the database dir which we are already in for the directory server, and we have to enter the directory server password. But we don't need to give a password for this pk12 file. And the file successfully exported. Okay. Now we need to import this pk12 file, which contains the directory server certificate and its private key, as well as our certificate authority, to the admin server database. And for that, we have to switch that to the admin server and use pk12 util, this time input file from temp dir ds, the file we just created, and the directory which we want to import this pk12 file keys inside it, this the admin server, and it will ask for the password for the admin server database, not for the directory server database. So nothing for the pk12 file, and the file is imported successfully. Now we can check the admin server database, and as you see, we import just about everything we have exported to the pk12 file. But our certificate authority imported without its trust mode, so we need to change that with cert util. At this time, modify trust mode, capital CT, comma, and the nickname for our CAcert, then close the quotation, add this dir. Now check again, and we restored the trust mode for our self-signed CA inside the admin server database. Now if we fire the console once again, and expand the trees and double click the administration server, manage certificate, we find the server certificate appears under the server cert, and our CA appears also under the CA cert pane. If you want to see the details, you can click detail and see that everything is okay. Now close the console and and to enable the SASL authentication with the admin server, we need to tell the admin server about the keytab file we have had created during the last session for the directory server. And for that we need to edit the admin server configuration file under the etc sysconfig dir serve admin, and just added the following line to it: krp5 underscore keytab name equal etc dir serve the location change dir etc dir serve east. Okay, ds.keytab ds.keytab. Okay, now we need to restart the admin server and the directory server. For that, system ctl system ctl restart dir serve at media and dir serve min. Okay, to enable the TLS secure connection for the console and admin server, first we need to run the console again. Just login as directory manager. Okay, expand the tree and double click the administration server, configuration, encryption, then enable SSL for this server, and also check use this Sheffer family RSA. You can review the setting. Okay, then save and go to the configuration directory server and check the secure connection 636 and save. Okay, then close the admin window and double click the directory server and go to the configuration, encryption. Forget about this error, and just select use SSL in console, then save. Okay, okay, okay. Then close the console. Now check the SSL TLS version on your system, and for that you can use open SSL chiffres. V pipe this to OK command. Then print $sign and close the quotation, then sort, then unique. This is wrong. Okay. We have TLS version 1 and TLS version 1.2. Okay. Now we need to create a password file for the admin server, and for that we have to change dir to etc dir serve admin. Okay. And this file must contain the admin server database password. VIII password dot text internal and just the password for the admin server database. Yeah, then write and quit, change on. This file must be read only by the dir serve user. And change mode, just like we did before with the directory server. Okay, here is it. Okay. Now you have to edit the nss.conf file to tell the admin server about the password file. nss.conf, and just look for the NSS passphrase dialog. I guess it here. Yeah, and change that just comment it and change that to become file etc dir serve. It should point to the password file dir serve admin dash serve password dot text, and let's check that. Copy, just write and quit. Yeah, all right. Now we need to restart the admin server, but before that we need to make some change with the console.conf file. In the same dir in the same admin server there, vi console.conf, and you have to look for the NSS protocol line. Okay, it should be here. Yeah, then comment it and just let be TLS version 1. We don't want to use any SSL chiffres, so write and quit. Then the adm.conf file, we should added the following line: SSL version minimum TLS 1. Okay, and SSL version maximum should be TLS version 1.2. Okay, I guess we yeah. Now we need to restart the both the directory server and the admin server. System ctl restart dir serve dir serve at media and dir serve admin. Yeah, yeah. Okay. Also in your home dir, there is a configuration file for the C89 console. You have to make some change in it. So we have to change dir to 389 and then list, and the console preference, we need to edit this file. And just added the SSL version minimum and maximum. SSL version minimum, TLS 1, TLS 1, and SSL version maximum, TLS 1.2. Yeah, then write and quit. Also you have to add our self-signed certificate authority to the console database. First, let's check cert util list. Okay, nothing there. We can import our self-signed certificate, self-signed CA, to the console database with cert util A to add a certificate, and just this dir, just select nickname for the certificate which will be added. Let be CA cert, and the file containing our certificate authority, which must be located at our home dir. Home valid sorry CE. Yeah, remember we have created this file in the previous session. This is an ASCII format from our self-signed CA. Okay, we need to edit the trust mode. Comma, CT, comma, and the certificate is imported. Now if we check again, we find our certificate authority in the console database. Okay, now let's run the console. and this time we have to use the HTTPS port and login as directory manager. Okay, all right. As you see, the console connects now to the directory server using the TLS secure port 636. And notice also the lock at the bottom left corner of the console window becomes now locked. Let's inspect the administration server. Encryption. All right. And the directory server. Yeah, no errors here. Okay, and also that we are using use SSL in console. We have activated this option the last time. Okay. Now close the console and everything seems normal. Okay. I guess it's enough for today, and we will continue later on in the upcoming session. If you have any issues about the video, please comment me to let me know. Thank you for watching, and bye.